Welcome back to Satisfactory. Okay, we've got a little problem that should require a short video, but we'll see. It's definitely one of those we'll see type situations. I'm thinking we need to recycle the containers that get their way over to the fuel generator. I think that's where we're having trouble because we are running out of containers. Basically, the ratios aren't great. Yeah, we're always having more fuel than anything else. 40 fuel for 30 resin. $30 resin is 10 plastic. Plastic is 20 canisters. And that's 20 fuel. So all that for 20 fuel. But the problem is, hey, right here, we got 40 fuel. So we need to basically double. We're not going to double it. In order to double it, we'd have to have a crazy amount of summer swoops. So what we're going to do is reintroduce the canisters somewhere. I think just to get things going though, so we don't run out of power again. We're gonna pop over here and grab some plastic. These machines are ready to work. Just gotta give them something to do. Well, I'll add that little extra storage so we can have a little more plastic buffer. And basically, I'm just gonna try to introduce a big chunk of canisters into this process so we can get the recycling where it needs to be. You gotta have something to recycle in order to recycle. Because right now, these guys, yeah, they have more fuel than canisters. These guys will crank out some canisters pretty quick. You know, kind of thinking about it, If we Sombers loop this little area right here, it'd be pretty close to good. But we're not destroying all of them is the thing. Right? We're making... So at this point, I think we're pretty good. We are making containers at the very least. That fuel is flowing into here. These guys will eventually get their speed where it needs to be. And then I think we'll head over to our rocket fuel power generation. And from there, we'll just, you know, make one little tweak. Because right now we're throwing away all the canisters that thing is using, which is unnecessary. Actually, hold on. There's a chunk of canisters in here, and there's an absolute chunk of fuel. That's a way for us to catch up immediately. Oh, wait. I think I had some canisters on me. Oh, I thought I did. Now I'm a little worried about it. I'd really hate to pollute this with empty canisters. Okay, well, maybe I didn't pick them up. I saw them. I thought about them. But maybe I didn't pick them up, or maybe I dropped them off so instinctively that I didn't even think about it. They're definitely not in my inventory. Okay, so we've got that kind of going. Our power situation is where it needs to be. Oh, ha! I picked up the empties and then dropped them right off. That's why I don't see them. I'm not sure how I made that mistake, but okay. I'm just gonna drop a cannon down here. This is one of those places that I often find myself about to land halfway, not quite far enough. Need a little extra boost. Bouncing off it. Oh, I guess there's a giant wall there. They're lucky. I'm lucky they didn't count that as a death. Really? Oh. Just a blue power slug. We'll let that stay there. I guess we'll have to go around this thing. I've started it. I'm not gonna stop. We're gonna finish it. Look at this. Okay. I should have brought some turbo fuel with me. Just to be on the safe side. What I'm saying is currently the turbo fuel comes in here. Then it drops down, gets unpackaged, and then gets sent out through this pipe over to that tower where it gets turned into rocket fuel and then gets redistributed to all three. What I'm saying is maybe all of this and then throwing away the empties isn't the right way to go. Maybe we should do something other than throwing away the empties. So the input for this one, we'll just send it all the way down, as far down as we can anyway. Yeah, okay. It's really going to be like that, is it? Did I skip it? Where'd it go? I put a lift hole somewhere in here, didn't I? Ah. Hiding a little bit. So for simplicity's sake, we'll just bring it all the way back down here. And then we'll just loop this right back in. We'll delete this. Now we should have one or two empties already in here. I'm going to add all the empties I have on me. We'll just wait to see how this works out. Oh. Okay. So empties were picked up. 116 empties in his inventory. So then we'll go over to the turbo tower. Do I need to check in over here? I don't think so, but I'm here, so I might as well. Yeah, these guys need more turbo fuel to keep going. They just received a shipment of 500, so... All right, so we've got that kind of set. Once these guys receive more turbo fuel, they'll be ready to turn into rocket fuel and surely solidify our power situation. So now they're ripping out the empties, ripping out the turbo fuel and shipping back empties. Gotta stay at full health. Now I'm trying to decide what I should do with these empties. The turbo tower itself has something of a recycling program on it. Right? The fuel gets ripped out and then it gets sent over here for the purposes of being made into packaged turbo fuel. So those empties are reused. And then they come out whenever both of these are full. They come out and get lifted. And sent back here. I might have to change how these empties get reintegrated. What I want to see is that turbo fuel export alpha, turbo power generation export only. So that makes good sense. So the question is, do I send these to the bottom of the tower and try to use them immediately? Oh, wait. No. Once it's on this lift, it's gone. There is no use locally. So we might as well just ship these empties back to the fuel. If I can get a merger on here. If I can't, I'll have to... Yeah, I'm going to have to rebuild this belt. Now that's a little risky because I'm not putting in my patented buffer, but I guess he technically can't bring in more than we ship out. So we're kind of limit rated anyway. So I feel comfortable with that. Everybody's over here landing at the exact same time. Try to give some of these guys a chance to get some decent fuel counts. So they don't go back with 30 fuel. Not enough fuel to even run their own fuel needs. I feel like I'm saying fuel a lot. Okay, I think that's enough. That gets us a little fuel for those random drones, but I'm not going to investigate which one's which. It's all good. So now we're back over here, and the question is, when we drop in the empties, is this the best place for that drop? I might be convinced that we need to make an adjustment. So it drops in right here, then it goes in here, gets repackaged and then resent out. And then over here, we kind of have the fresh canisters that we're making. Now, let me think about this for a second. We are still using liquid fuel for the drones. So it's not going to be a pure recycling scenario, right? Because the drones consume the fuel and the canisters. So we still need to make some canisters from scratch. So I'm okay with continuing the program of using this resin. I'm like, how are these last ones full? It's because they're on the end and there's only 2 machines. But they're getting such a small amount. I mean, they're getting half. First 3 are getting half. The second 3 are getting 25%. I guess 2 machines running at 25% use up resources a lot slower than 3 machines, I suppose. $360 per minute. Still technically not fast enough. Oh wait, no, these are 40. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 360 per minute. Oh, it's set up. In a rare case of me actually doing the numbers, I set this up so it's perfectly balanced. So I think the only thing I want to consider is a little addition right here. And then we'll smart split this guy. We gotta make sure we're latched onto the belt. AI limiter. I haven't even started making AI limiters yet. Crazy amount of time for me not to have AI limiters going. And basically what we'll do is we'll say overflow this guy. So if the recycling program results in an overflow, then we'll sync it. It should. It shouldn't. With all this buffering that I've got put in place, it should be fine. Until it's not fine. And then I'll be happy to have that. I mean, we already have a bit of a problem in that this is... But this should always... I think this should always catch up. Though the number is slightly increasing. I do have one of these set to 1 shard worth of speed. No, this is actually 3 shards worth of speed. That thing is cranking. I think if we get to the point where we have quote unquote extra, we should clear out the fuel as fast as possible. Like, we need to get that fuel back in and around. Some percentage of it will get recycled back to us anyway. So I think that's the key, is to get this side really going. Worst case scenario, we'll have to figure out something to get more drones. But yeah, so exactly. So as these new, or as these old canisters get reintegrated, it's going to be more important to just get those canisters out of the way. Of course, now we're out of fuel. Oh, this one's already overclocked. I guess I'll overclock the ones at the very beginning since they get all the fuel anyway. Luckily, these are on my famous 3x3 manifold, so the availability of canisters is still pretty good. So we're emptying out the fuel that we have over here, according to those numbers. Yeah, man. All of it's getting used. So we're pulling this off just off of a more or less random pipe. Why is it only 200? We could use more than 200. We got 200 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 480 total. Looks like this whole refinery could be overclocked in various unique ways. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could cut one of these. Of course, now I'm seeing resin issues. Well, the belt's full, but the machines are still emptying out, so I think it's fine. Of course, as soon as I say that, I see this example. So many tiny little pieces of belt to upgrade. This is on the outer edge of this corner. Oh, it's already upgraded? It is. Okay, so that's flowing the resin a little better. What am I doing with this fuel otherwise? Oh, yeah, we're using it to make plastic and rubber in the recycling tower. I forgot about that. Okay. We won't mess with that side of things. If we can get a little more fuel in here, we might want to consider it, but for now, I think it's fine. I don't know if I can leave it like that, though. My temptation is to cut this pipe right here, so the full flow stops here and goes down. But I think what I'll do is we'll just put a valve on it, and then we'll cut the flow rate. We'll let a little through. That's what I like to see. Bigger numbers going down that way. Perfect solution. And then if we have to come back to it, we can adjust that valve. At least now, 4 or 500's coming down this way. And then this is actually, I mean, what I really should do in a real ideal situation, I'd set this up to be the full 600. So if we ever got 600 down this way, we would be able to make full use of it. But I think actually that's got it. In that we are in a good spot to get all that fuel going. Actually, let's check over here. You want to see half a drone worth. It is still a third of a drone worth. And the drone's arriving. But they're bringing back some empties, so that's good news. Apparently this drone trip is short enough where we could make this happen. I hear a power slug around me. Where is this? I totally hear spiders. Whoops. Get sick of being right all the time. They went all in on the echoing footsteps inside of caves. Oh my god. I knew there were going to be spiders. I didn't expect 3 or 4 of them. Got 2 of them. Little backdoor way to get in there. Of course, now we're over the permadeath falls. I don't think I have a loop on me. That's bad. I can't justify turning a power slug into shards without using a loop at this point. I think we'll leave it for now. He's taking out 750. But he's taking out a halfway decent amount of fuel. I think that's a good place to stop. We got our recycling system set up. Next time we check in on it, the question will be, are we ripping through enough fuel? We've got a good chunk of fuel landing down here now, so I'm going to call it right there. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. We'll see you next time.